What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, let's jump back into Splinterlands content. I know I've been traveling the last couple of days, but now I am back home, as you can see, and there is something worth discussing here based on what Matt posted regarding, or posted in the Town Hall chat regarding this upcoming mini set. So this is in response to a question from B. Jangles of the People's Guild, so shout out to them. He says, the entire economy is based around demand for DEC via purchasing in-game assets. I believe one of the main problems is that there just isn't very much available that people want to purchase. I believe it's time to change that, which is why I suggested launching a mini set like we have for every other major edition since beta, among smaller things like promo card sales. That being said, I am planning to submit a DAO proposal to let the community decide if they would like a mini set or not. If not, then maybe we can shoot for the next major set to come out in the first half of 2025 instead of the second half. But just keep in mind that if there's not enough available that people want to buy in-game, then I expect the economy to continue to languish. And then he talks about some playtesting stuff here. So this is interesting. In my head, right, I have always had that 18-month cycle would actually put us in the second half of next year, right? Maybe June, but again, that's pretty much the second half of next year, June, July. So what he's talking about here is if we don't do the mini set, then we can push up the major set to come out in the first half of 2025, which is kind of what I was saying earlier. If we're not going to get a mini set, before this whole talk about mini set, my guess is that we were going to see, like, the earliest we would see things might be like March or April, which would be, you know, end of Q1, early Q2, mainly because that would put about a 3-month, open window between when Rebellion sells out or burns out and then when the new set would launch. A mini set would obviously extend that, and then I think, we're still aligned, or at least seems Matt is still aligned to doing that 18-month cycle where we get this mini set. I'm guessing by the end of the year, it's got to be 2024 is my guess. And then, we still go with that second half or like summertime launch of whatever the next set is. So I'm actually curious, before, this actually comes out and we see what people end up voting for, I'm curious to know how you guys feel about this in terms of, do we want a mini set? Do we want a major set, right? A core set that would essentially rotate Chaos Legion out and into, into Wild. Now, I think that there's benefits to doing the core set earlier, right? The mini set would be interesting, but what is it going to accomplish? That's where I'm struggling right now. And I'm not even anti mini set, right? I think it'd be weird actually if we didn't do a mini set. I think that there should be an opportunity for us to do a mini set. Although my hope is that this can actually be a mini set in the sense that, however this ends up working, and if they're going to do something with the DAO, or the DAO pays them, X amount of DEC or stable coins, and then we get to burn some DEC, I would like to see a mini set that comes in that's actually mini in the sense of, okay, there's not as many cards, so people don't feel like they need to get a bunch of new cards, right? Because keep in mind, not Rebellion, but Rift Watchers was like half the size, maybe 40% of the size of Chaos Legion. And then Chaos Legion was just so bloated with so many different reward cards too, right? 3 different sets. That's obviously not going to happen with Rebellion. Rebellion is going to be much smaller as a set, right? You're going to have the core set. You're going to have a bunch of promo cards, which, might rival the amount, might be more than what we had in Chaos Legion. But there were a lot of promo cards in Chaos Legion too. And then you're going to have this mini set that, or one set of rewards, the core set, and then, this mini set, which I think could be good, but shouldn't be more than like 20 to 25 cards or something like that. We shouldn't be up in the 40 to 50 range like previous mini sets. So with that being said, there's a lot of folks here who are hardcore players. They want to have different cards available to them. They want to go and, if there's going to be some differentiating factor other than just new abilities or whatever, I think that would actually be a good thing. And here's the thing. Rebellion came in and literally changed the mechanics of the game by offering this new round, right? The ambush round that we didn't quite have before. Also, there was the tactics, right? So you could come in and there's like a secondary, team planning or team selection round. So there were fundamental things that happened with that changed the nature of the game entirely with Rebellion. I don't even think that we've taken full advantage of that yet, but hopefully we will start to soon. So my hope is that if we were to get a new core set, we could see other ways in which the team is planning on, updating or advancing the game mechanics. Is that something that they can do earlier rather than later? Again, we're talking about like a 3-month difference here, right? We'll say 3 to 6 month difference. Let's say they come out in the first half of the year versus the second half of the year. I think if we can give them a little bit more time, that makes sense. But again, the mini set would have to be something that actually is appealing and that gets more people to purchase, because we're going to have a bunch of promo cards. We're going to have a bunch of X, Y, and Z. Now, at the end of the day, again, I'm kind of on the fence on this, which is why I'm asking you guys. I'm not opposed to a mini set. As somebody who is much more focused on still building up my collection from like Chaos Legion, and I haven't participated in Rebellion, at least not significantly. That will be like the next thing. And so if we're going to be adding in a new, mini set to this, that could change the nature of like where I choose to participate. Because at this point in time, I'll tell you, I'm not planning on buying all Rebellion cards. I think the summoners are probably going to be solid, and then going for specific meta cards is going to be great. And if I can do that with Rebellion, and then also pick and choose whatever comes in from this mini set, there's limited funds, right? For everybody, not just me, but for everybody. So I would have to really get choosy about like what is it that's going to be out there. But that being said, there are people in this game who treat this like a game appropriately, and it's awesome, right? And they have the capital to spend on it. This is their hobby. This is whatever it is, right? Or I hate to use the term investment, but there's people who just want to have and collect everything. If you give them the opportunity to do so, then they'll spend money, right? They'll spend money, they'll buy the cards, and they'll be a completionist. And in a way, right, the way that Matt has designed this game and the game economy, the more people put in, the more it impacts and actually benefits everyone. So in a way, I'm actually for the mini set in this sense, right? For this reason, probably alone, where maybe I'm not going to buy everything, but even if you have a couple of folks that come in and want to be completionists, even if once the marketing starts, right, you have folks that want to come in and like get everything in the set. That's a lot of DEC burned, right? That's a lot of DEC getting locked up in the DAO. All of that ends up being good because it starts to lower the circulating supply of DEC. We start to burn SPS, lower the circulating supply of that, starts to hopefully raise the value of SPS, right? If it becomes a little bit more scarce, and everybody benefits, right? So in that way, I think that, again, I'm not decided one way or another. Obviously, I'm leaning towards a mini set just from like a more comprehensive approach. But at the same time, if we could get new mechanics, I could be swayed to go and get the, a newer version of, not a newer version, but a new modern format that would essentially rotate Chaos Legion out, put that behind us, and then really focus in on what the future would look like with maybe some new game mechanics, with a new modern format, with hopefully Chaos Legion starting to fill out a lot of, land and things like that. If we can start to take that, leap with land as well. But that's where my head is at. I just wanted to share this with you guys. I want to get your thoughts on it. Obviously, it sounds like there's going to be a proposal that comes out. So people will vote based on their stake weight. But before that, I'm curious to know what the sub-community here on YouTube thinks. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. That is all I have for you guys in this video. Otherwise, I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.